Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. For this afternoon's review, this is the part 2 of the custom build of this 1:12 scale my custom G.I. Joe Classified series wetsuit using the Gridiron Studios frogman accessory pack. I'm going to throw in some accessories that I have on board since this set does not have a knife, so we have an extra knife on board. So this is from the Cobra Officer, so G.I. Joe Classified series Cobra Officer. So we're going to throw in the knife, and this possibly looks like a spear, a pneumatic spear. So I don't know whether I'm going to convert this by cutting off some of the pieces of this weapon system and possibly putting something at the end of the barrel, I mean. So maybe a metal piece of some sort, so it's going to look like a spear gun. And we're going to throw in this belt, but I'm not sure yet whether this is going to be of use. But I would like to throw this in because of the many pouches, possible just little pouches on this belt, that it resembles a belt that a diver uses, wherein he would put in some weights on the pockets of the belt to make him stay under water. So that's it. So I think we're ready to start this build. Okay, so we have the Andros figure. So let's take a look at the body of the figure. As you could see, it looks like a frogman's or a Navy SEAL's wetsuit. So all black, nice and simple, no molds on the body, which means easy attachment to the rebreather set that the Gridiron Studios weapons pack has, which is actually the thing that we really want. So as for the head sculpt, as you could see, we could still use this head sculpt. The only thing that it lacks is articulation points because of the mold of the hair. So easy fix, just use your X-Acto knife and give this guy a haircut. So as you could see, I already did that haircut, and we're ready to take that off. And once you take off the hair, you improve the articulation points. So I made a cut just exactly just below the articulation point so as not to expose the hinge for the head. So by freeing that much hair from this dude, so we have that much articulation of looking up. So in a diving pose, in a swimming pose underwater, so this guy really looks good. And once we make a initial fit on the goggles or the mask, so this actually really looks nice. So we could still see the eyes of the head sculpt on the figure. And as for the fit, let's make an initial fit. I already measured the length and the width, so as you could see, that is a really nice fit. So just push it in that way and put the band on the heel. So top. And what's nice also about this figure is because it has the boot swivel or articulation point. So once you post this on a McFarlane DC Multiverse stand, the transparent stand, it's going to look really nice. So let's move on with the build. This is nice and simple, the helmet, and when you attach the rebreather set to it, so actually it looks good too, and it has enough groove on the mouth area as to possibly nestle the mouthpiece of this rebreather set. So possibly a helmet, a dive helmet that this figure could hold onto, or even in a dive pose, I think we could still make use of this too. So let us just see. But this head sculpt really adds character to the figure because of the shade on the hair. Of course, if you're a diver, you're exposed to salt water and sun, and somehow that is going to discolor your hair later on, which basically this figure already has the hair that is dyed on or discolored. So head sculpt really adds to the charisma or the beauty of basically the figure in a dive or a swim pose this way. So before we attach the dive gear or swim gear to this 1:12 scale custom wetsuit that I'm doing, let us first discuss weapon systems. So of course, if you're going to board a ship, so that is one of the MO of a Navy SEAL, so shipboarding, so you have to have a weapon system. So something that is not so bulky but at the same time has enough firepower or heft. Okay, so basically we need a knife. So we have a knife on board. This is from the Cobra Officer. I already changed the belt. So this belt is from the G.I. Joe Classified series Spirit. So that is the buckle that the Classified Spirit had. So chop it off, and instead of putting this area to the front, it made more sense to have the magazines, the pistol magazines or the pistol caliber carbine magazines on the left side up front here. So I attach also the holster that came with the original belt of this Andros figure, and that looks like Glock style magazines. So I still had a Glock on board, a 1:12 scale Glock. It so happened that it's silver in color, but that is okay, because if you're going to display this and that is a black pistol, the pistol is going to be drowned out by the color of the suit of the 1:12 scale figure. So better that it stands out this way, not silver color. As for weapons, we have a pistol caliber carbine that comes basically with a frogman set by Gridiron, and that looks like a pistol. This is looks like a Glock styled magazine, so complementary. So with that, so could still possibly use with this. So you have interchangeability of magazines that you could feed the Glock magazines onto this PCC, and you still have a pistol. Okay, and the last thing that we have on board is this. So I showed it earlier on this video. It still had an attachment on this area, and I cut it off with an X-Acto knife, and I just found this in my accessories bin. So I just super glued it on this area to possibly make it look like a scope of some sort. So just in case wetsuit needs to shoot at a Cobra operative above water, then he has a sighting system. I also attached a metal piece that possibly would resemble a spearhead, so which completes the look of this spear gun. So you have the spear gun, a pistol caliber carbine, and a knife on board. So we are finally done with our very simple build. So I'm not the type of customizer to really put a lot of things into an action figure, either 1:12 or 1:6. Guided by the principles of an ounce, a pound, and mission dictates gear, or being mission specific. Whatever you carry is based on what you're going to do. So we have the figure very simply made. So as I have shown earlier, the spear gun, so pistol belt, and the accessories that we finally added on this figure would be the rebreather and the mask and the fins. Okay, so basically this is now how the figure looks, and that is how the figure looked as a Power Ranger. So now he is a G.I. Joe. So let's take that box out of frame and let's take a look at the final build on the back. So we have the rebreather set. Instead of attaching it to the front, I've attached it to the back of the figure, gave enough clearance so when I move the figure around, especially on the diaphragm area, this rebreather set is not going to be displaced. So let's see if the double-sided tape, the industrial double-sided tape, is going to hold on for the lifetime of the figure, or initially about a week of display and a week of play. So I also found a way to store the dive fins or jet fins to the rebreather set. So instead of attaching a retention system for the belt, I just attach it to the rebreather system, just super glued it that way. So let's do a closer look on that. So as you could see, it is glued underneath. So that is one of the retention systems that I use for a 1:6 scale custom military action figure. So anyway, I have an excess of this, so I just added it to this figure. So that is how it looks from the back. So I was really trying to figure out whether this is a good option for display, but the size really is just meant for a 7-inch figure. So this is going to another figure, so let's put it aside. So finally, the long weapon that this wetsuit action figure would sport would be the spear gun. So I like it better, nice and simple. And as to how it complements the figure, the size, it is not oversized, it is also not too small, it is just right. So as to weapon, well, if this wetsuit figure is above water, then he has a Glock pistol with 2 spare magazines, and if he is below water, then he has the spear gun to protect him and the knife. And he could also use the spear gun if he wishes to shoot at something from above water. So he could be guided by the scope that is attached to the spear gun. So nice and simple, this is how I build my figures. guided by the principles that I just mentioned. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.